See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hey everybody, you're tuning in to DBYT Podcast, and I'm your host Taisha. Tonight we'll be discussing the God to my heart. I want to thank all my listeners and those who share my content on a daily. With that being said, let's get into it. What happens when we give people the guides to our hearts? Everything that makes us tick to all the things that make us feel all butterfly-ish inside. Is it a setup for a beautiful ending or the start of a devastating disaster? Today we have Joseph and Rashida to share their thoughts. So guys, do you think that telling someone exactly what you want in a partner is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think it's a really bad idea, actually, because I feel like you can tell him like the basic stuff, like you want somebody who's honest or, things like that. But when it comes down to specifics, I think the danger in that is that you can easily tell them, let's say they're a player, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just told them exactly how to get you to not see any red flags. It's like, I feel like the person for you should not like already know exactly how to treat you, but one, they should know the basics of how to treat somebody in a relationship. And then as you progress, if they're really your fit, then they're gonna learn how you move. I don't feel like you should give them like the rundown. I think that's like if it's the right person, they might do the right thing with that information. But if it's somebody who don't have really any good intentions or for you in mind and is just trying to mess with you or get in your pants, you just told them exactly how to do that.
What you think, Joseph?
I feel that letting that person learn like what you expect in a relationship and like what you want in a relationship is much more beneficial than telling them straight out, because then that makes them it kind of makes them earn that part of you, to like that knowledge, because they're not entitled to it. Two, it gives y'all time to get to know each other instead of jumping right off the bat into like, I expect this, this, and this, and I want this, this, and this in somebody, and that puts a lot of pressure on a relationship that may have not even started yet.
That is very true. Personally, I agree with both of you guys. I think it is a bad idea. I think that one, say if you tell that person like everything that you're looking for, and maybe that could scare them away because maybe they feel like they can't live up to that, or maybe they like, oh my gosh, like this is overbearing, this is too much, like she or he is expecting way too much and I can't do it. Or you can look at it from the perspective of the shift in power dynamic. And what I mean by that is like, say you tell somebody your deepest, darkest secrets, right? And the things that make you tick and whatnot. Now they know exactly how to either hurt you, how to make you happy. And that's dangerous because it's like, they know too much and they can use that against you at any time. Or the fact that they'll take what you gave them and like be that person, like y'all said. For the positive side of that, I think it's an honest attempt to try to start something new. That's the only probably good thing, is the honest aspect of it.
Yeah, I can see that too. I didn't really think of it that way, that could be, that could probably definitely, I know if I was just starting to get a relationship and I was like, well, I'm looking for a girl, and he like just gives me this list, I want to be like, dang. Even if I am all those things, kind of just like, not you had a checklist and you came prepared to tell me,
Yeah. When you are with your partner, like, do you sometimes feel like you don't really know them at times?
Definitely.
Like, what do you think that causes that? Like, especially when you've been with them for a little while, and then sometimes you're just sitting there and you're like, dang, who are you? Who am I with right now?
Honestly, I think it's like this. It's like, I've seen my siblings get into relationships and just do some things that like, I didn't think like their type of character could even do. I think that you may or may not be like, or it's possible to be a different person in a relationship than like just how you are by yourself. Like I know a lot of people who are like, you know, with everybody else they're kind of mean, not even mean, but just quiet or whatever, but with their partner they might be outgoing and whatever. So I think being with certain people can bring certain things out of you too.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. Have you ever been with somebody because of what they could do for you? Like maybe they're providing something for you that you couldn't do for yourself?
For me personally, with my first relationship was also when I came out of the closet to my family. My first relationship really provided me with was like validation and security, like within myself, being comfortable like with myself and my sexuality. And I think that because I went through like coming out and like those things with that person, that made me want to stay with them. That makes sense, because they were providing me like happiness that I didn't think I could provide myself with, until I truly sat down and like reflected and realized that I could without them.
So with that, do you think it's because it was like y'all shared that moment, like that it was an important moment, so it was like this person kind of helped do that? What you think about that?
I definitely think that the relationship lasted so long because he was there for me when all of that was happening. Just kind of like an extra support that if I didn't have, I would have been fine. If I had, I was great. And that kind of just like set in stone that we were going to be together for a while.
So like, have you ever stayed with somebody even though you know like your futures wouldn't align?
Yes. Because for me, I stayed because I put my everything into like relationships and things like that, and I try my best to like compromise and like do what's best for like the both of us, not just what's best for me and things like that. And I sometimes, not knowing, take it a step further and compromise so that I forget my own goals. So I feel like, yeah, it definitely turned into something where like everything he wanted, he got, and everything I wanted kind of got pushed to the side.
But you don't think that was intentional, do you?
I don't think it was intentional on my part.
So like with that relationship, do you think like it wasn't like a 50-50, or how they would say like 100% effort into that on his side? Or like, how do you feel about that?
Knowing that person, I know what they thought was 100% or like 50-50, like you said, was their 50-50. But from my perspective, it really wasn't, because it was not a healthy relationship. And just like a quick little summary, like everything was always my fault in that relationship. So that's like just one sign that it wasn't 50-50. Like I took the blame for a lot of things. But knowing that person, they definitely thought it was 50-50, and they thought they were doing everything they could in a relationship, and they really weren't.
When it comes to that, I'm actually like, if I'm not getting what I need, I'm not staying. I'm not staying. And it's always crazy because I think what it is like, I've been put second so many times in the past, like in my first 2 relationships, like that hurt really bad that I stopped putting other people before me. And that, in certain aspects of my life, like it's showing out to be kind of a bad thing, but most of the time, putting yourself before others doesn't usually end in you getting hurt.
I don't think it's a selfish aspect to put yourself first, because at the end of the day, like you're not married to anyone just yet. So it's like you're trying to find yourself and find a person who understands who you really are. So putting yourself first, I just don't see that as selfish. But when you put other people first, maybe it's a gracious act, but then sometimes I could feel like that could be kind of harmful in a way, because sometimes other like people take advantage of that. They take advantage of kindness all the time, and it makes people like how you say you're being put second a lot. So it's like you probably don't feel appreciated, or maybe you don't feel important enough to be number one. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think that's selfish on your part to put yourself first at times.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. I wish I did that in my first relationship, because
first loves just
mess you up.
Mess you up.
Yes,
they do. In so many ways, even if, like, I promise you, it doesn't matter who it is. I've always realized something about first love relationships. They most of the time set the tone for the rest of the relationships in terms of everything. Like I'm talking, they make you realize what you don't like. They make you realize what you do like. They make you realize what it's like to be stupid for somebody. All of that. they give you all the experiences just clashing together, and 99% of the time, even when first love and bad, like most of us, if our first love like called or whatever, like we might consider, not even like going back to them, but like even let's say somebody's first love calls them and is like, yo, like I just need to talk. A lot of people would be like, man, you know what I mean? Like
that's where we separate on how we think.
I'm not talking about me, because if my first love call me, I'm gonna tell him a lot of things that I cannot say on this podcast. Okay?
Oh yes, 100%. Same, because
I had put something on my Instagram the other day about how do people feel about the person who took their virginity, and it was kind of hilarious to me because a lot of people were like, they can stay where they at, but some people were like me and they were like, oh, I'm cool with them. Like no biggie. I found that interesting how like especially when we're young and we're picking the people that we think we want to be with, is like, what is that really based off of? Like, are we just going off of like what our parents don't want us to be with, or are we going off of what we see on TV? Like,
honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like I said, I personally think you can only have one first love. I mean, it's first love. So I mean, anybody else would be a second or a third or whatever. Mm-hmm. But for me, I've always realized that like my first love situation, when it came to type, it was most definitely the complete opposite of what my parents wanted. Like in all aspects. I'm talking every. And Tanisha, I think you know this. I think we talked about this, but yeah, so my parents are pastors. Mm-hmm. So we can all imagine what type of guy they wanted me to be. Right. And I was nowhere near. I'm talking, the dude was atheist, tatted up. It was most definitely 90 and a 25.
Do you think it was to like prove to your parents like, hey, even like you don't know what's best? Like, what do you think when that happens?
Honestly, it was kind of just, I was on some like F y'all type thing. Not okay. Let's I'm gonna put it this way. I liked him, so that's the one thing I really did. But like, I feel like a part of me going through with even staying with him so long was just kind of like a, and they met him and I was like, in the movie was like, you don't know him like I know him. My stupid self, and obviously I turned out to be wrong. I wasn't trying to listen to anything they had to say. I think subconsciously, I just wanted the opposite of what they wanted because it was just so strict. I'm like, any guy that you want from me, I'm thinking is gonna be, if he's anything like y'all, he can go.
Oh my God.
He can go.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I had that experience. It was like, because in my household, like we're not like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's like, well, if it makes you happy, or if you feel comfortable with that, then you got to go through your own learning experience. That's how we grew up.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Like my mom has always said, like, as long as you're happy, I'm happy. So like when my first relationship with my ex came around, and then we broke up, I found out that not one person in my family liked him, but no one told me.
Oh, that's toxic.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just wanted you to be happy, and because at the end of the day, nobody can really choose your partner for you. So it's like, if you want to sit up there and deal with it, then okay, cool, and I'm gonna support you.
Yeah, and I 100% like agree with like them not telling me, because I needed to learn on my own, like what I deserved and like what I like needed and wanted in life in a relationship. So no, I agree with them not telling me. But I was like, wow, so y'all just didn't like him this whole time and I've just been over here blind.
I do believe that experience is the best teacher. Are you willing to do things that you normally wouldn't do for somebody who may be a potential next for you?
Okay, Taisha.
No.
I feel targeted.
Don't do that. Because I knew you was going to say that, but I wrote these questions before we talk. Don't do that.
What do you
I
mean?
guess.
Say, for example, you know how I don't like dogs?
Uh-huh.
All right, so if I'm with somebody and say we move in together and he's like, babe, let's get a dog. And I'm like, okay. I would not normally do that because what? I'm terrified of dogs. I'm not doing that.
See, I can't blindly do that, but like if you can convince me and like plead your case kind of thing, like we should do this because, and then give me a good reason, then I might consider, but usually nah.
Well, Taisha knows where I stand on this. Listen, I'm a fool when I'm in love, and people say, you know, wisdom comes with time. My wisdom has not come in these 19 years, and I don't know if it's ever gonna come. Cause, child, if I really love you, and there's something that I probably wouldn't do if it wasn't you, and you asked me to do that, I'm gonna put a blindfold on and do that. That's that thing. Like,
well, be an experienced 19-year-old at a point in time, I can definitely tell you that your mindset is going to change over the next few years. Like, it's going to be slow, so it's not like you're not going to notice it at first, but then you look back and see how fast that few years went. You're going to be like, was this dramatic or was this over time? Like, how did this all come about? So, I mean, even the things that you do today might not be the things you do tomorrow, and vice versa. Like, it all comes with experience and time and seeing how you feel about yourself and how you feel about other people. But guys, how soon do y'all let people meet y'all parents? Like, not people, but like people as in your person, people.
Well, I've only been in 2 relationships, and the first one we moved fast, and the second one is with my best friend for 7 years. So I honestly can't really say because I only have the 2 relationships to go off of, and one of them was extremely fast, and one of them he's met my parents like 6 years ago. So
that makes sense. I would have to say for me, my first boyfriend, like, I grew up with him, so it's like they were kind of already familiar with him, like, in a way. Like, they were like, oh, that's such and such, and then it's like, oh, now y'all together, oh, okay, so this is who you are. With some other people that I've talked to, like, I don't know, it's just weird because it's like it's always been like that. Like, I usually date people in my county, so it was more like, oh, they played football, oh, you went to school with them, oh, X, Y, and Z, they played basketball. Like, it was always things like that. So it was like we all grew up in like a sports world, so it was like everybody already knew. Now, my last relationship, I think I waited a good little bit, maybe like a year, I think, before I let him meet them. But like, we weren't together that whole time. But still, that's time.
Only one boy has met my parents, and it was on accident, because they caught us hanging out at the mall. So like, they didn't really meet him. They like saw us and came up to us and like peeped that I was with a dude and told me to take my black fill in the blank home. So yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, nobody. Like, they're not the type of parent who's like, oh, okay, this is your person. Break up and be like, oh, okay, this is like your new person. They're gonna look at me like, okay, this might be the last person you bring into us, because after this, we can't help you. Why are you going from relationship to relationship? But I think they're like that because they found their person right away. Like, they was each other's second boyfriend, girlfriend. They got married at 18 and they've been together ever since then. So they have a very probably different view of how relationships work than everybody else.
That's so crazy. Like, just to find people so young is weird. Cause like, you know.
And still be together to this day. Like, Oh, that's crazy.
That's how my mom and my stepdad are. Like, they've been together for so long, and it's like, y'all not tired of each other yet? I'm just kidding, guys. I know y'all listening, but I'm kidding. But do either of you describe yourself as a jealous person?
Kinda. See, I don't get jealous unless I feel like something is up.
Mm-hmm.
So I typically almost never get jealous, but sometimes I'll have my days where I'm just like, that's suspicious.
That's weird.
That's weird. But usually I'm not. But like, yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone has like those moments where they get a little crazy.
When it comes to relationships, I'm very, very, very much jealous. Like, it's not even just a moment for me. It's consistent. It's a part of my relationship. Because, I don't know, I'm very like, not possessive, like in like a, okay, like you can't do anything without me type of way. Mm-hmm. But more of like a, when we're together, if I see somebody looking at you in a type of way, I'm gonna be like, excuse me, like, that's mine.
Is it like territorial? Is that
yeah? Okay. And it's less like a, I don't want my person interacting with anybody else. It's more, I don't want other people interacting with my person. Like, I don't care what he do. Like, if he want to go out with his friends, I'm chilling. If he want to do this, but it's like I'm cool with him. But other people around him, it's just like I'd be wary of them. You know?
I don't have too much relationship experience, but I've never really felt jealous in like, even like when I'm talking to somebody or if I'm dating them or something. I don't know. Like, I try to care, but it's like,
oh my God.
It's not that I don't care about them, or you know, it's more like, if you're gonna do something or you're gonna entertain somebody, then I don't know, it's just my aura, I guess. I'm like, I gotta get my energy away from you. Like, that's all I be thinking. I be trying to protect my aura. So I'm like, if I let this man get me to the point where I'm that upset, he got way too much power. And my mom always taught me, like, don't give nobody that much power over you, where they controlling your emotions, because they got your emotions, bro. They know how to like control you, and you don't want to be controlled by nobody.
Yeah, I should take that advice. Damn.
No cap. I might need to talk to your mom real quick.
I will say she gives pretty A1 advice.
Well, it sounds like it.
Do you guys find it to be a problem if your partner never seems to get jealous?
No.
Okay. Why not?
If I'm in a relationship and the dude is a little bit possessive of me, I'm gonna feel like, okay, you know? I'm like, okay, you know, one of y'all around his girl, period. You know what I mean? But like, if he's not even a little bit, I'm gonna kind of just be like, am I ugly or something?
And that's what I was gonna get at, because I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she was like, if her man isn't jealous, she doesn't feel like he's attracted to her. So like, she needs that validation of the jealousy to come in, so she knows that she is still attractive, or she's still
that's the thing.
Tired.
It can't be too much though. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's never like, oh well, if you've been in a relationship for a couple months and he's never, like, you know, been a little like this like, you know, a little protective over you, mm-hmm. It's like, that just gives me like, I don't know. I feel like from like where I am and like who I'm with at the moment, like, for example, we could be in a store or something. If he feels like another dude looking at me or something, like, he'll come hold my hand. You know? Or something like that. Like, I don't know. Okay. And so it's like, I feel like jealousy has different levels. If he was like to go up to do my, like, looking at my girl, like, that's a little weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like little things that's like, oh, like, you know, he's so really cool. Like, okay, like, this is my girl. You know? Not no crazy nothing. It doesn't have to be an all the time thing, but like every now and again, it just shows a little like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
But it's nothing I would be like, oh, like, yeah, we can't be together. Like, you know, you've never like shown possessiveness, because it could just be they're confident that you're theirs and theirs only, and nobody else will take that from them.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Because I like, when I do talk to men, I like them. I'm attracted to like calm dudes and like low key dudes, because it's like, I feel like I do feel like they're confident in themselves and stuff, just because they're not all out and like, hey, look at me, da 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 da. You know, like I don't like dudes who are always trying to be seen. So like you said with the if somebody was looking at you and they just suddenly like, you know, grab your hand or something or put their arm around you or something, like, okay, cool, but chill. Like, don't do too much. I agree with that. We will return to DBYT after these brief messages. Instant Cosmos has all your accessory needs. It is a Black-owned company that offers quality work for an affordable price. Jewelry holders, cutting boards, and even purses. The possibilities are truly endless. Starting tonight until February 20th, you can buy one shot glass and get the other one for free when you mention DBYT. You can find much more on Instagram at Instant Cosmos. And we're back with Joseph and Rashida. So, think about one of the best relationships that you've ever been in. Did you guys argue a lot with them?
Yes.
We debate a lot, but we don't really argue, if that makes sense. Like, we just kind of talk about a lot of different things that, like, we may not see eye to eye on. But, like, it's never, like, heated, like, yelling or, like, raising your voice. I'm usually the one that get heated because I'm emotional. But, no, I wouldn't say that we argue a lot.
So, I feel like I know both of you guys pretty well and who y'all talking about. For those who use arguing as an outlet to express themselves, how effective is that?
Very. For me and my current, both of us love to argue. And I feel like if you're a person who likes to argue, you have to either date. Part of me is like, okay, maybe you could date somebody who like is like the opposite, because that might calm you. But I feel like for somebody who loves to argue, that just irritates me more if somebody's not arguing back. Like, are you ignoring me? Like, why are you calmed? Relax. Like, are you bad? You're mad. You know what I mean? Like, that's so toxic.
What?
See, for me, like, I wouldn't say I like to argue, but I love to debate. And who I'm with also loves to debate, but I'm on like the very emotional side of things where like I easily get irritated and I easily get like worked up. And he's on the complete opposite, like you said. Like, he's very like calm tempered. He never raises his voice. The more you get like emotional about it, the less he gets emotional about it. So the dynamic there is like sometimes it might turn into like a little bigger like argument, but for him we're literally just talking.
It's funny because like me, I don't like to argue. I mean, if I have my points like in a debate stand, I guess I don't know. I guess I don't go for dudes who do that or who seem like they would anyway. Like, I usually go for calm people and that don't like to like, they just want to talk, but they don't want to like argue about it. You know what I mean? Because me, I'm going to get irritated to the point where I'm like, bro, you got it. And then I'm going to go and be isolated. I don't know. I think I have an isolation issue now that I say this out loud. I think that's like my common thing right now. Like, if I do get into arguments, even if it's not with like a person that I'm talking to, it's like I try to get really calm. And it makes people like more upset, but I really try to just stay away from the whole shindig because I'm like, I don't like making people upset, but I'm not finna like get hot-headed over something that I can't control. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So. No, yeah, I feel that because like for me, when I start to get upset and like during one of our debates or just like an argument, I'm one of those people who I shut down. Mm-hmm. Like, my emotions, I just shut down. I go silent. I don't talk. I don't respond. I don't look at you.
I can't even get a look.
See, no, because when like I know like when you're angry, you say things that you don't mean. So to avoid that, my body just instinctively shuts down. It's like, just calm down, separate yourself, come back and talk about it later.
I found it interesting that you said that when people are mad, they say things they don't mean, because I honestly believe the complete opposite. I feel like when you're at a point where you don't care about what you're saying, like to the extent of I'm so mad that I'm about to give you all of this truth that I've been holding back, because there's been times in my friendships where they will blow up, and then all the oh, I was finna cuss, my bad. All the stuff I was finna get mad. But they just start being like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're woo, woo, woo. And you're like, wow, so that's how you really feel. Okay, cool, got you.
I can see that. I can see how that can also tie into like when you're angry, you lose all like your sense of like good judgment.
Yeah, like you lose that filter.
And like for me, just knowing me personally, like when I get angry, I just start throwing things at people.
Oh my god.
That's why. Okay, I shouldn't say when I get angry. When I used to get angry.
Okay.
Because I used to be that type of person where I would like bring up, and this is gonna sound really bad, where I used to just bring up like the worst of the worst of like the person that I'm arguing with, just to throw it in their face.
I thought I was toxic.
Oh my god.
But no, I've worked on that, and like, do I regret being that way? Yes, but I've grown as a person to know that like sometimes I just need to step back and I need to just, like I said, shut down for a second, so I don't hurt the people that I care about.
Well, that's good. At least you think about what you're doing before things get too out of hand, out of pocket.
Yes, because I come from a family who we yell at the top of our lungs at each other when we are mad at each other, and it's messy.
How was that growing up? How do you think that played a part in who you are now?
I feel my emotions have always been just like, people always have told me that my emotions are very like aggressive. Like I have big emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So like, when I feel something, I feel it very deeply and very openly. And that's with negative and positive emotions. So like when I get upset about something or I feel like I'm not being heard, my first reaction is to get mad and like upset, because that's how it was when I was little. So like now, if I don't feel like I'm being heard, I get a little upset, I get a little angry, and I start to like raise my voice to the point where like if it gets bad enough, I yell, but I typically don't yell anymore, because I'm like, that's not cute. No one deserves to be yelled at. But yeah, no, I've had to do a lot of like working on myself because of how I grew up with like a very vocal household.
That's good. I think as a generation, like people are really trying to establish like their mental health and make sure that they're okay. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, obviously our parents came from a different time where maybe they didn't see, like, a lot of people would be claiming, you know, depression and like maybe they're not feeling it at their peak or whatever, their peak of happiness. So I think it is important to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and like developing yourself, because you shouldn't be the same person that you were at 15, you know?
No. Yeah.
If that's the case, you're not growing, and that's not cool either.
Yeah.
When you are getting to know someone, do you hold back a lot of the things that you would normally say or do for the sake of them staying?
No.
Honestly,
don't bite your tongue, girl. Don't bite your tongue.
Listen, I have a mouth on me, and it's lethal. Okay. Like, it's really, really bad, to the point where like I keep my friend circle, one, very small, and two, to people who can handle just like the flat truth, like just the flat, like not even like no type of you're my friend, so I'm gonna tell you like nicely. No. No. But I've also learned now that like a lot of people don't appreciate that. So I've learned to only be that way with people who appreciate that. And to the people who like that would like really, really hurt them, I try to not do that. But when it comes to relationships, you can hear my mouth. You can hear my mouth, because like I said, I've come to the point where I'm like, if you're not fitting me, you ain't cutting it. You gotta go.
That is Okay. I'm gonna take that. But I'm also gonna say that I'm not gonna say that I have held back at times when I do talk to people. It just depends on who it is, but I've done it to people. I have a strange relationship with men. I'm not gonna sit up here and cap like I don't, but it's like sometimes I just be like, should I say this? And then they be like, man, nah. I ain't even got time for it. I don't want the rebuttal. I don't want the step back. I don't want it. Like, maybe that comes from a point of like, I don't want the confrontation at times, because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But there has been times that I've personally done it.
Yeah, you're definitely better than me.
I'm not. Don't do that. I speak Ebonics. I know what that means. So in the beginning of your relationship, do you think that restraining yourself, as in like holding back the real you, helps, or do you think being yourself helps more?
I think being yourself helps more, because for example, I have a very big personality, and if you can't handle that personality, then the relationship's not going to work. And I need to know if it's going to work off the bat, not like 2 months down the line when I'm already emotionally invested in you, and then you really get to see what that personality is like, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Okay, so you're not with the catch and trap. Okay, gotcha.
No.
Oh my gosh. I mean, at times I played the card. I mean, sometimes it just depends. Like when I got older, I was like, this is who I am. I'm typically not as nice as people think I am. So don't get caught up in you thinking that I'm one way and I'm really not. Like this right here, I'm just happy right at the moment. So like, take that with a grain of salt, please. I'm not trying to deceive you, but I do like you. Sometimes. And then, you got to come out with the crazy some months later. I mean, why not? Surprise.
Honestly, I find that it's less heartbreaking to be yourself from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I guess I'm biased, because the one time I have done that, it ended me in this situationship that I'm very happy to be in. And in simple terms, like, I was in a relationship, events happened, my relationship became a situationship, and it's on the track back to being a relationship again. And I think part of the reason why it's on track to being back to a relationship is because the person saw all of who I am and really like messes with it. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I can't really leave that. And this is the first time I really was like, here, like, this is me. Like, I'm crazy. I'm toxic. I'm overprotective. I'm also a crybaby, but I'm also mean, which is a terrible combination. Like, I will yell at you, and if you yell at me back, and I feel like I didn't do nothing wrong, I'm gonna cry. Because why? Like, why are you yelling at me? Don't do that.
Mama
don't
said
do that.
I am a crybaby thug.
Right. I will dish it out. And not only I can dish it out and can't take it, but when it comes to relationships, like if I'm just with a friend or like someone who I just don't know, like we're going back and forth, like you're not gonna be able to hurt my feelings.
I definitely feel that that's a difference too. It honestly does depend on the relationship that you have with a person, because me, I have soft spots for some people, and some people I could care less about, like, or is it couldn't care less? Whatever. Thank you. I couldn't care less about what they would think, because it's like, dude, like, who are you anyway? Like, that's how I be in my mind. But like, when it's somebody that you care about, yeah, you might get a little bit more emotional. And I think it's okay, because at least now you see I care. Because if I don't get emotional, most of the time I don't care.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
And you know, because it's like if I don't get emotional and I'm like dead serious coming at your neck. Like, I really don't care about your feelings at this point. I don't care about who you are. I don't care what you meant to me. But if you see me turning up, nah, that you just know that you lost me, because I don't care no more.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that so much, because it's like right now I'm literally like tiptoeing like until like my situation like comes back into a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's very much like, none of this not me, but it's kind of like, I don't want to rock the boat, you know, type of thing. It's like, oh, I'm still like, because if I rock the boat and then like something happens, like I'm gonna be like a mess.
Well,
like, you know,
I'm glad that you're working at what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've been talking and you've been through a lot, and a lot of people will probably just give up on something that they could work on. Because hear me when I say this, everybody, just because you get into an argument or a disagreement with your partner does not mean that y'all are finished. That does not, you have to work at these type of things. Now, after some time and you see a consistent trend of, oh, he's always disrespecting me, oh, he always doing this, you always doing that, or y'all just not, you know, compatible, then okay, that's when you can start to, you know, fall back. But don't lose your good person. Don't lose your person because you think that this is the end.
And also on that, it's also like, don't lose your person. I feel like a lot of people, you'll find somebody, okay, because first of all, it's hard to find somebody who starting off is like actually compatible with you. And I feel like people mistake actually compatible for like, we're never gonna have any problems.
And that's I don't understand that, because it's like, especially when I talk to people and they're like, oh, I want to be like this person and this person, like, you know, famous YouTube couples or whatever. And I'm like, do you really think that these people finna put their hardships out there? If anything, they're getting caught up, and that's when their hardships are exposed. So it's like, you have to know that every relationship is not going to be perfect, but it can be perfect to you, because everybody has a different perception of what is perfect to them. So it's like, when you find your person, bro, please
don't let them go,
bro. Don't give up on these people, because like, especially if y'all met somebody when y'all were younger, there is a good opportunity for you to grow with somebody and like just see that person grow, and you grow, and y'all both develop into another person, you know, and y'all can come together and be something greater.
Respectfully to everybody who's ever given me relationship advice, Aisha, you're probably the one person where like, if I come to you about something, a relationship, that my ears are fully open. Like I wouldn't like feel like I need to be careful of what I take in from you. It's like people, all right, let's like, for example, you know, my current situation. So it's like, I asked a few of my friends like, hey, like, what do you think I should do? And like, in the, like they did what any like basic friend would do. Oh no, like leave him, like you deserve better than that, like you deserve someone who makes you happy. And I'm like, wait, I missed the part where I told you that he don't make me happy. Oh no,
right?
I most definitely just said like, we going through it, like we arguing does not mean that I'm not happy here. Me like having problems with this dude does not mean that I'm not happy here. It just means that maybe I'm having an unhappy moment.
Yes.
And that's like saying like, if there's a good movie with good actors and certain bad scenes where you're just like, that could have been done better, it doesn't make it a bad movie. There's going to be plot twists and parts where you're like, oh my god, this character did that. This character, like, why would they do that? But the movie is still bomb. Like, and I feel like that's how relationship, like I feel like that's how relationship is. Like, the relationship as a whole could just be bomb. And it's like, when it comes to relationships, I feel like it's not really about like how easy the relationship is going to be. I feel like every relationship is hard. It's just like, who do you want to go through those hard things with?
Thank you. Is it worth it? What Osiris said, you ain't got to be perfect. You just got to be worth it. Okay?
Not
Like,
Taisha being wise.
no, for real. I cannot wait till we get to season 2 because that is going to be all about platonic relationships. It's going to be about self-care, and it's going to be about friendships, different types of friends, and everything else. Because that I feel like friendships are a fundamental part of even some of your more romantic relationships, or even relationships that you have in your life, like when it comes to your parents and everything else. Like those people that you grew up with are very, like, they're stepping stones, you know, because you're spending a lot of time with your friends and everything, and everybody influences somebody in some type of way. So it's like, that's important. Y'all just know you ain't gotta listen to everything that your friends say. Yes, you can listen and like take in what they think they're gonna do or think they would do, but at the end of the day, you gotta make your own decisions because we grown, and that's how you use the proper term. We grown, not for no nasty stuff. Because I swear, you doing it.
Thank you.
I don't like that.
Most definitely, I be seeing some young kids doing some quote unquote grown things. So ain't no we grown. Just say you doing what you doing and leave it at that, because it don't got nothing to do with age. But I completely agree with that. Like, meaning somebody well and actually telling them what's good for them, 2 different things. Taisha is very much Taisha on her own.
Yes.
Like, and I think that's really, like, that's how I want to be. And honestly, that is how I'm not.
I just like to have someone like to share things with, and like share moments with, and like I don't need that, but it's more of a want, because it's just I don't really know how to explain it. Just like she said, like just like a companion there.
I feel like it's a craving.
Yeah.
Not even like a need. It's like a very much like you really, not even just a want. It's like a, cause I mean, anybody could like, I want a relationship, but I'm good by myself. Like I am good by myself, but I really crave like company. Somebody I can fall asleep on the phone with, be like, hey, like just share little things. Cause like even with the person I'm with, like I'll pass a test and I'm like, that's the first person I think to call. Like, bro, guess what I just did? I mean, you can do that with your friends and everything and cool, but like it's a different level.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's good that y'all know that y'all like that type of thing. But before agreeing to a new relationship, do you guys talk about the things that could possibly take a turn? Or do you wait until that problem actually arises in your relationship?
I feel like I'm more of a waiting type of person, because if I speak it out, I'm just like, I'm one of those people like, if I speak it into the universe, it might just happen even more now.
Manifestation. It's a beautiful thing.
It's also a tricky thing. Sometimes it'll bite you where you don't want to get dead. Like, so, and usually, like with my relationship right now, we don't really, and this might sound like cheesy or something, or like dumb, but like we don't really have like problems kind of thing. At least I don't have problems. But like, so I don't really like, it's kind of hard to say because we don't really have that many problems. Even as friends, we didn't really have that many problems.
For me, oh Lord. For me, my last relationship, no cap, I was an overthinker because I had been out the game for so long. So I was like, bro, what if this happened? Like, what if this happened? What if this happened? What if this happened? He's like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, well, I just want to know, if, in the case that this happened, what's going to happen to us? Or what's going to be like this? Or what's going to be like that? Like, I ain't even go to the hearing cap like I didn't. But I think that was one of my first times actually like talking about it like beforehand. Like, because in previous relationships, I'd just be like, well, I mean, I really didn't have any issues in my other relationships. Like, everybody was just pretty chill. But I guess I was antsy because, like I said, I was out the game for a while. So I was like, dang, I hope this doesn't like end on bad terms and we can't be like friends or anything, or we can't get along, or you hate me or I hate you. Cause I just like people to be happy. Y'all probably know I'm Mother Goose. Like, I'm always that person to be like, okay, do this X, Y, and Z. Da, da, da. Sometimes you want somebody that's gonna be like, let me take that off for you and let me be that person.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Without you having to ask, because I feel like softer dudes, you'll ask them and of course they're gonna do it, but it's gonna be like, bro, like, can't you just
do it?
Step up.
Joseph wants them just do it.
Right, literally. No,
I feel like
not for real.
Very I know Taisha personally, but like I feel like y'all are both very dominant in life, so like in a relationship, it seems like both of y'all want to take a step back for like a little bit and like let them be dominant.
Definitely. I get tired of just feeling like I have to take control in every situation. I feel like in majority of my relationships, like I've been the one like, do this, do that. Like, you just did something wrong. Now I have to be on your ass about it. Like, with who I'm with, it's kind of like certain things he'll just do. And I'll just be like, thank you. Like, yes. You know what I mean? Like, just, oh my God. Like, and it's crazy because I feel like with dominant people, you feel like no matter who it is, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you feel like you're always the one that people look to make decisions, always the one that people come to for advice. And it's like somebody could just be like, here, let me take that off your shoulder for a minute.
So guys, I am on the last question. I want you guys to think about it. Think about yourself outside of a relationship. And I want you to tell me the top 3 reasons you would want to be with somebody.
One would also be I want to like be challenged. I don't want my significant other to not challenge me, because if you're not challenged, you're not growing. My second one is I just want somebody who like to just like spend time with, who doesn't mind like just sitting there and not talking, just being there, just like in the moment. And then my third, I look for independence in a person. It like it's hard to explain, but like my boyfriend right now, he's very independent. Like he does not need me. He is very capable on his own, and I love that because like me, I'm a very busy person, so I don't really have time to be there for every single person that I care about.
Well, I'm gonna steal into his. Definitely the independent part. Like, I want to be in a relationship with somebody who is reaching their own personal goals as well as our goals together. Like, I want them to like not just have like our relationship as their top priority. Like, I feel like they should still be goal oriented and want to get everything that they want to get done as them done. That's really my main thing. I can't really think of anything else.
All right, cool. Number 1, I want to challenge myself. Number 2, I want to see them grow. My last reason would be to see how compatible we are and to see if we could actually build a future together. So, thank you guys for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
Any last remarks?
It's always fun to be on this podcast.
I'm glad that y'all come. But that is all we have. That was Joseph and Rashida, and of course your host Taisha. Catch us next week on Don't Bite Your Tongue. We out. That's all we have for DBYT tonight. I want to thank everyone who tuned in this week. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at _Sanah, that's SENIH, or at DBYT Productions. Thanks to everybody who continues to support my vision. Y'all, I really appreciate it, for real. If you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or questions, feel free to hit me up on social media, and you can tune in next week where we'll be introducing a director in the making. That's all I have for you this week. I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.